Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel, Tarot by Bronx. This is Tarot Talk. These are Tarot Tings, and I'm your host, Boogie down Bronx, and I'm here to take care of the Aquarius. Aquarius, if you're new to the channel, welcome. This reading can resonate for you. If you have Aquarius as a sun, moon, rising, Venus, north node, or south node sign. Quick shout out to my Patreon. I just did Sagittarius early access. Now I'm doing Aquarius early access today. We getting it in, y'all. But yeah, Aquarius, hope you guys are doing well. We do have Venus retrograde pre-shadow period happening right now. And as you know, in the sign of Leo, Leo is opposite of Aquarius. So you may be definitely feeling the effects of it already in regards to your relationships specifically. And if you're a Aquarius rising, even more specifically, then this retrograde is happening in your 7th house of one-to-one relationships, partnerships, open enemies, and all kinds of relational stuff. So you may be in the spotlight for relationships more than anybody else, maybe even more than Leo. All right, so just be mindful of your relationships right now. If they are seeming like they're a little bit struggling or tricky, this could be the case from now throughout September. So what is the blunt truth? I didn't do a pre-shuffle for you guys yet. What is the blunt truth that Aquarius needs to hear at this time? What is the blunt truth for July for Aquarius? You have there's something better, and then you have get off your ass. Period. There's something better and get off your ass. All right. Let's clarify. So there's something better from the blunt truth. Let's see what comes out. What is there something better? Settling for mediocrity. If that's not clear, I don't know what the heck else is. All right. There's something better and settling for mediocrity. All right. There you go. So now let's get into your shadow work card, Aquarius. Let's see what's hidden from you or what the shadow work is for July. What is hidden from Aquarius? What is settling? Not settling. Jeez, I was thinking about the card. What is hidden or what's the shadow work for Aquarius? The devil. Ooh, the devil card. The devil in your shadow. Let me see what that's about, child. Where is it at? The devil, you know. Death, the devil. All right. The devil represents the consequences we face as our choices become more and more significant the further into life we travel, teaching us that we are responsible for our lives and our choices. If we make selfish choices that harm ourselves and others, we will not enjoy the outcomes. Weak will, the failure of good intention, action taken against one's own convictions, upright self-interest, temptation, consequences, and choice. Okay, so what I'm hearing in my head is like, the shadow card for you guys is feeling like you don't have a choice, that you are not in control of your own destiny, right? There are things that are fated, right? Certain things happen to us that are out of our control, but you always have a choice of how you respond or engage or don't engage with those things. So it's telling you right now that there's consequences for your actions or your inactions. Get off your ass. There's something better. Settling for mediocrity. So there's consequences when you choose things that you know are not healthy for you, right? Or you choose things out of egoistic reasons, or you choose things for selfish reasons. Or when you don't go for things that you know are good for you, that you know you're supposed to put yourself out there for. There's also consequences for that, right? And that can be regret, that can be guilt, that can be more suffering, more instability, more unhappiness, right? So it's saying that you're settling in some way, and it's saying that there's a blockage here for you guys thinking that you're not in control of your choices for some reason, and you don't have a choice. I think in your last reading, I was telling you guys a lot about choosing, right? Choosing to be happy. You always have a choice as far as like what emotion you're going to choose to focus on, right? So there can be multiple emotions present in our lives at once. Life is not black and white. Everything's not always good. Everything's not always bad. It's just about your choice, okay? So, there's this happening in my life, this bad thing, this good thing, this whatever thing. Now, what thing am I going to prioritize and put at the focal point of my day? You have a choice, right? Even though you can't choose to make it disappear all the time, you can choose that you're not going to let that ruin your whole day or ruin your happiness. It takes practice, but it can be done. So let's see, what is it that Aquarius feels like they don't have a choice, or they have a choice about? There's something better, where they're settling for mediocrity. You have not worth it. You have air sign, blessing in disguise. What is it that Aquarius, there's something better? Completion or closure, or where they're settling here. Where is it that they're healing, reconcile, intuition? Okay. So we have to start out with house or move. Think before you act. Okay. So the first thing here, there can be like some self-sabotage happening. You have not worth it. I'm kind of getting from this card is that maybe a lot of you talk yourself out of things, right? Instead of trying to talk yourself into things, you talk yourself out of things. Like why something wouldn't be worth you even trying, right? Because maybe you have it in your head already that it's not going to work out anyway. So why bother? Why try? It's not worth it. And that is eliminating a chance for it to even work, because you've already made that decision that it's not going to work. So therefore it's not, right? So there's that. Air sign, there's something better. If you're dealing with an air sign, you're not happy with that air sign, that can be your sign that there is somebody better for you than this person. Another Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. And what else? Settling. You have house or move. Some of you are like maybe thinking about your situation physically, and you're like, I don't think I can leave this environment, or there's no way I can leave this place. But there is something better for you. There's a better place for you outside of where you're at right now. Think before you act. So before you reject something, or you go towards something that you don't really want, think about that. Really think about why you're doing this, or what is the reason behind doing something. Is it to be rebellious, or is it to prove a point, or is it to, validate some type of thought pattern you have? Just think about what you're doing before you do it here. Let's see what else we got here. What's the advice for Aquarius as far as moving towards what's better for them? You have happiness tried to come out. Moving towards what's better, settling for mediocrity. Can you tell us more about advice in regards to this? Self-love. What is the advice for Aquarius? Healer. Fight for it. Bank account. Liar. Soulmate. Student. Okay. Let me clarify this one card. Healer. Single. Alrighty, so you have fight for it, and you have self-love came out here first as your advice. So I definitely feel like some of you guys maybe have some issues with not fully understanding your own power, not fully understanding your own worth and what you're capable of, which is where self-love, it needs to be poured into you so you can make yourself really feel validated, really feel good enough, really feel worthy enough to go for the opportunities or the situations that you need, that you want. Fight for it, learning to fight more for things instead of just giving up, especially if they're not easy, or if you can't think of something outside of the box as like how to get something done or how to make something happen. Then it's just like, oh, well, I guess it's not meant for me. I hear people say this all the time. You may be one of those people on Twitter and stuff. They're like, well, I guess I'm just meant to be single forever. I guess I'm meant to be alone. I'm just put on this earth to be by myself forever. It sounds very dramatic. But some people really feel like that. And that can be a form of self-sabotage if, you just don't want to be hurt. You don't want to be disappointed and all these other things. There's like a narrative that you now have about why you should be alone, or like kind of validating that voice, that inner voice, that guilt, that shame that you have about like why you're not meant to have certain things that are good for you or that could be good for you. So, there's a lot of healing that still needs to be put into place here. You have soulmate. Like, there's going to be a lot of people that are reflecting goodness back to you, reflecting wherever you're at in your self-love journey back to you about the things that you deserve, the things that you could have. And I feel like in a very worthy partnership or a worthy situation, are you going to see, wow, I never knew that was possible for me, or I never knew that I could have those things, right? So there's like a kind of like awakening moment where you're like, wow, there really is better out there. Like, I see the potential of what could be for my life or for myself. But maybe I've been just keeping myself stuck because I'm like, I second guess it, or I don't put myself out there, or I talk myself out of things. Okay. So your mindset is very powerful as far as like what opportunities are going to come to you and what opportunities you're willing to accept. In some way, there is something better. That doesn't have to be in relationship necessarily, and you're settling. There's things that you want in this lifetime. There's things that you deserve, or maybe you don't know, but you do deserve, but you're not fighting for it. You're not choosing to put yourself in those circumstances enough. Put yourself out there enough for those things to take hold. Or if it doesn't work out the way you think it should, then you're just like, oh, well, it's not for me. No, that doesn't mean it's not for you. It could mean a lot of different things that have nothing to do with you specifically, about like who you are or like your worthiness of it. It could just mean maybe it's a timing thing. Maybe it's going to happen in a better way. There's so many explanations for why. So it's just like, be careful of putting explanations on things to make it make sense and try to make yourself feel better, but it may not really be making you feel better in the end. Okay. So let's see what else for Aquarius. What else is coming towards Aquarius? If there's something better and settling for mediocrity, can you tell us more in regards to that for Aquarius? Where is Aquarius settling here? Where else is Aquarius settling? I see something in regards to being recognized. 6 of Wands, like being seen for something that you're doing. Where else is Aquarius settling right now? And there's fear surrounding that as well. I just see like a lot of you guys are very critical of yourselves, and like, the things that you tell yourself that, oh, you can't do that. You can't put yourself out there. You can't have these certain things because of whatever reason you're saying for yourself. It can come down to like an insecurity or a self-confidence thing. Self-confidence needs to be built up more within yourselves. Justice card in reverse. Something that's not fair. There's like a sense of unfairness or imbalance here with whatever it is that you're settling. 5 of Cups. I also see isolation is possibly an issue. Isolation is possibly an issue. You could have Virgo placements, could be dealing with a Virgo. Hermit card. That's where the isolation. And then the 5 of Cups. So there is some type of disappointment, whether it's like you were disappointed in the past, now you're afraid to go for things now, or you just have this fear of things not working out, right? And not wanting to deal with that disappointment or the potential of that. So again, all of these things allowing fear to take over the show. Now, fear, we can choose fear if we want to. There's always a possibility to choose fear, to choose doubt in every circumstance, because we don't have 100% certainty at all times about things. So waking up every day, what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose fear and then just stay where you're at, not really explore anything else? Or are you going to choose courage? Courage, showing up in the face of the unknown despite not having all the answers, right? And just choosing to forge a different path and see what happens. And if it works out, that's great. If it doesn't, then there's always another way for us. But choosing fear, choosing stagnancy, choosing settling, mediocrity should not be where you stop living your life at. Okay, Aquarius. So just keep that in mind. Let's look at the surrender deck. What's going on in the surrender deck? What does Aquarius need to surrender with this energy? Surrender your ego. I know y'all hate when I talk about ego. I talk to you and Leo about ego a lot. That's your opposite sign, but it came out. I didn't pick it. Cultivate gratitude, be of service from others, and come from your heart. A big ego can work against you, but humility will further your goals. So, when it comes down to where you could be at in your life, right? Your ego may be stopping you from actually obtaining that, because it's like, no, I can't ask for help because then I'll look weak, right? That's ego. Ego is about how you're going to look, how you appear to other people, how you feel about yourself. Or I want to have everything for myself. And this is not saying this is you. This is just some examples of how ego can show up in a more negative way. Or, I am just going to remain in this situation where I'm at because I'm trying to prove something here. Like, I'm trying to prove that this thing can work in the way that I want it to work, because then that means that I'm not a failure. Whatever story that your ego creates, really listen in to what storyline your ego is telling you about yourself and about your circumstances as to why you can do something or why you can't do something. All right. Or why you should or shouldn't do it. It's an ego thing. All right. Because it's saying that there could be some ego stopping you from getting better. And ego shows up in a way, like there's two main ways that ego shows up. It's like, in one way, it's like an inflated ego, which is more so sometimes what I see with people with really, really bad insecurity. So inflated ego is like a grandiose version of yourself to protect your inner self from feeling shame and guilt and regret. So, I can do no wrong. Everybody is always against me. Just everybody. It's always everybody else, not you. That's like a more grand and like, I'm so amazing. I'm so good. I'm so this. I'm so that. I'm so perfect. That's a big, big ego, right? But it's protecting a small, little insecure person inside. And then there's the ego which I see a lot of Aquarius struggle with, more so this side of things, where it's deflated, where it's not enough ego, where it's like, you don't feel good enough. You're like, oh, I don't deserve that. Or, maybe that's not meant for me, or I'm not even going to try, or I'm just going to let people do what they want to do. I'm not going to put myself out there. It's not worth it. Deflated ego, not having enough confidence to know what it is that you're really worth and what you should be going for. So you can fall anywhere on that spectrum, but that all boils down to ego, which is, quite simply put, your sense of self. Who do you think you are? That is what our ego's job is. So what is the advice for Aquarius with that being said? What is the advice for Aquarius? What is the advice for Aquarius? Nine of Swords. Again, with the fears showing up. Ace of Pentacles. The Chariot. 10 of Cups in reverse. Really observing and looking at where you are blocking your own happiness. Where you're not going after what could make you happier. You've kind of rooted yourself in a certain belief, in a certain relationship, in a certain job, and a certain theme in your life, saying this is as good as it gets for me. and it's not true. There's more out there. 10 of Cups in reverse. If you're willing to open your eyes, open your mind, and go towards it and to find it, right? But there's a lot of fear. There's a scarcity. Like, I'm scared to let go or to try because what if something bad happens? What if I get rejected, right? Well, you'll never know. You'll never know unless you try. You'll kind of just stay in this position where you're at right now, and there's not going to be a lot of progression and forward movement. You have 2 of Cups, relationships, mirroring back to you all the possibilities that life has to offer. Ace of Pentacles, something solid that is coming towards you. An offer is presented. The universe can bring us all kinds of offers, all kinds of people, all kinds of opportunities. But if you do not choose to move towards it, you don't choose to progress forward with it, it just goes, it goes to the next person. It keeps moving. So it's like if you have that issue with your mentality that stops you and says, don't do that because of this fear or this reason, or because you're going to look like this, or you're going to look stupid, and you stop and you freeze and you're like, yeah, I'm just going to allow that thought to just be true. You got to challenge these thoughts. You got to challenge your insecurities. You got to challenge your inner critic, your ego. Be like, who says? Like, who says that I'm going to actually look like that? Or who cares? Why do I care so much about how I look to other people anyway? That means I got to check myself. Like, who am I really doing this for? Type of thing. So, all that to say is you got some opportunities that are coming, that are out there, that are right there ready for you to grab. But that devil on your shoulder is like, hey, let's choose to be miserable today. Let's choose unhappiness. Let's choose stagnancy. Let's choose insecurity. Let's choose pessimism. How about we choose that and just stay miserable? Let's not choose solutions. Let's not choose optimism. Let's not choose happiness. Let's just choose to stay where we always have been, how we always have known. Stay in our misery and make sure everybody's miserable with us. You don't have to choose that devil. Okay. Challenge that devil. Be like, I'm going to actually choose the opposite today. I'm going to actually choose things that are better for me, healthy for me. I'm not going to choose things that validate my shame and my guilt. I'm going to choose to be better. All right. So that's what I have for you, Aquarius. Thank you for watching. If this reading resonated for you, please let me know down in the comments down below. Like, comment, share, and subscribe so this channel can thrive. I am at Tarot by Bronx on everything.